Time to preview Texas with Coach Gundy. And first, very simply, how's Texas different than what they've been in the past in any way?
The quarterback is, in my opinion, is much different. He's experienced now, so he played, 5 or 6 games his freshman year and then played 12, 13 last year. I don't know if he missed one last year. And then, so now he's at close to 20. People talk about his throwing. He's a good thrower. He's been accurate. I don't think there's any question he's considerably different now than he was a year ago and even a year and a half ago. Defensively, they're big, they're strong, they can run, they're fast. It's all the same. They're in a little bit more of a softer defense like what you're seeing in this league. Long, tall wideouts that can go get the ball. Physical offensive linemen. So Texas is really Texas. I think the difference is their quarterback. He's a really good player, throws the ball very well. And it'll be a great challenge for us. So we're looking forward to the game.
You've played 2 road games in the non-conference, but now you go on the road for the conference opener. And as we referenced earlier in the week, you're only starting 4 seniors. So is there any degree of a little anxiety or concern when you take a pretty young football team on the road for that first conference game?
We always have anxiety and concern in coaching, sometimes even with experienced teams, but I think they'll do fine. Oregon State was a good atmosphere. They wouldn't have the level of sound that you're going to get in Austin, but that was a good test for them. It was a long trip, been in a hotel a long time, to come back out and focused. Hopefully that will help us at Texas. But you always have concern as a coach. You want everything to be smooth, and you'd love to play all your games at home.
So with that, also sort of building on that, the Tulsa game was odd. You jumped out to a 17-0 lead on the road. They came back and took the lead. Because of some of the things they were doing on defense, it was hard to get into an offensive rhythm. You were down some key players on defense. What could be the benefit of that Tulsa experience, not only as it pertains to the game against Texas, but long term? Because you stop and think about it, there was a lot of stuff going on.
Well, there was, and the benefit is we were behind. We were on the road. We had some guys playing that were a little bit down the line based on injuries. They were in an attacking defense, high risk, reward style play, so wasn't as easy. But gave up big plays. We got long runs and big passes and pass interference calls. So we learned from it. Each week they should get a little better and get a little more seasoned, and should make us a better football team.
Stay with us. Coming up, the Showdown Breakdown with former Cowboy quarterback Brandon Weeden.
Guys,
Hey, what time's your flight?
I've got an hour until I'm supposed to board.
All right, we have things to do. Is there any cancellations? I thought she was your best friend.
Yeah, she was. So they attached a dog's head on the man's body.
Where's your backpack? Mom. You know what? I think I'm gonna sew your backpack to your back. What do you think?
ADM milling is really a part of the fabric of the Enid community. So if we were to have lost them, it would have been more than the 70 jobs that they employ.
OG&E, the City of Enid, and the Enid Regional Development Alliance were all great to work with. Not only does it allow for the growth of the new mill, but also the power is there to make that happen for the future.
Time now for the Showdown Breakdown with former Cowboy quarterback Brandon Weeden. And while we're on the subject of quarterbacks, Spencer Sanders is off to a great start. He's a redshirt freshman starting for the first time. So how will it get more difficult for him as we get into conference play and for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think you start with the environment. It's going to be a little bit louder than the places he's played the first few weeks, more people. But more importantly, I think he's going against better players. Texas has got a bunch of guys that can run. They're bigger, stronger, faster, the whole deal. That's obvious. But I think schematically, these defensive coordinators have a lot on tape. They're able to kind of see his deficiencies, and they're able to attack him a little bit. But he's played well the first 3 weeks. So it's really going to be a challenge for this defense, to stop him because he's running the football effectively when he needs to, and he's throwing the ball, pretty well for a young quarterback.
So when defenses are watching that video, one thing they're seeing is Oklahoma State running the ball a lot. In fact, about 2/3 run for Oklahoma State on offense in the first 3 weeks. Number one, can that continue? Number two, does it need to continue?
I think it does need to continue. I think, one of the misnomers about this offense, the air raid per se, is that, you spread it out and you throw it 50 times a game. That's not necessarily the case. You go back to 2010 when Dana came here, we still ran the football and ran it a lot, and we ran it effectively, which made it, my job that year a heck of a lot easier. So I think you have to continue to run the football. I think Chuba's having a great year. He's 256 last week. Obviously started the game extremely fast, but you got to run the football. Makes things a lot easier for Spencer. So I think, you got to take some hits off of Chuba, but I think at the same time, that's what makes this offense go. So at the end of the day, you got to continue to run the football, and your play action game, your passing game kind of feeds off of it.
So let's stay on the offensive side of the ball and let's break down the Texas matchup. Defensively, what do you see in Texas? What could give the Cowboys problems? What are some things the Cowboys could take advantage of?
Yeah, they run a lot of three-man fronts. That's the new theme in college football with these defenses. But the thing I saw on tape is they try to confuse you. They try to get your mic points in one direction, maybe over here to the right, and then they come from the other way. So they're trying to play that cat and mouse game. But if you study enough tape, it's really pretty easy to kind of get a beat on where they're coming from. So if you're able to protect it, the offensive line does their job and keeps Spencer upright, and you're able to run the ball effectively, I think there's a lot of opportunities for some big plays down the field. So I think, there's going to be more pressure maybe than the first 3 weeks. These guys will kind of, get after the quarterback with some, run pressures as well as some, blitzes in the passing game. So it's a good test for this offense.
As we move to the Texas offense, Sam Ehlinger now in his third year as a starter, what things do you see in him that maybe we haven't seen in the past, and what's her overall flavor offensively?
I think, it starts and ends with Sam Ehlinger. He's a much improved passer. I think you look at this year, the way he's throwing the football, he's 73 completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, no picks, almost 1,000 yards. He's having a great year. They've played one really good defense and a couple subpars. So, this is going to be a big test for the Cowboys. I think they've got to get him off his spot a little bit, hit him early, hit him often, get in his face, kind of get him rattled. But he's having a great year. He runs the football extremely well, especially once you get in the red zone. That's kind of their bread and butter once they get down there. They want to run the quarterback power. They want to run the zone read and stuff like that. So this offense goes as he goes. He's a good leader. You can tell that by just watching these games, and he's having a heck of a year.
Would you have ever imagined that when you won in 2010 in Austin on that Saturday night, that would start a 5-game win streak in Austin against Texas?
No.
That got things cranking.
Yeah, that was 2010. It seems like forever ago. But, I didn't even know we hadn't won there until after the game. So that was kind of a notch on our belt. That was, and we took a lot of pride in that. Texas is nationally known as a powerhouse in college football. And to go to their place and win in front of 100,000 people is something to be proud of. And, we went down there, didn't play our best, but we didn't expect it was going to be perfect. You're playing a good football team. So it was a good test. I remember several things from 2010 and 2011. I like stepping out of the back of the end zone like a moron. But it was it was 2 great wins for us, and lucky to get both those wins.
We'll see if the Cowboy streak continues, looking for win number 6 in a row in Austin, Texas against the Longhorns this weekend. For Brandon Weeden, I'm Dave Hunziker. Thanks for watching the Showdown Breakdown.